Hi, myself Anupama Murali, Department of English. Today we are going to discuss On Killing a Tree by G. Patel. About the author. G. Patel is a physician by profession and a poet, painter and playwright. He was born in Mumbai and was educated at Grand Medical College. He currently resides in Mumbai and practices medicine there. Patel's poetic work include poems How Do You Withstand, Body and Mirroring. His first play, Princess, was performed in 1971. He has written two other plays, Savaska and Mr. Bairam. Also a well-known contemporary Indian visual artist, he has been a part of exhibitions around the world, including the Menton Biennale, France in 1976, India, Myth and Reality, Oxford in 1982. Contemporary Indian Art Royal Academy, London 1982, to name a few. So about the poem. On Killing a Tree, taken from the collection Poems, presents a clinical and systematic description of the procedure for killing a tree. Sardonic in tone, the poem criticizes the ruthless, methodical ways in which humans uproot trees which have taken years to come into being. Unmindful of this ecological process, humans cut them down. However, the regenerative power of nature resists and revives until its connection with the earth is destroyed entirely. On the surface, the poem appears to be about how to kill a tree, but in reality it is an outcry against human attempts to overcome nature and a reminder that nature rebounds even in the face of mass extinction. The job of killing a tree is not over as long as its deepest roots, its intimate relationship with nature, are not pulled out. So the poem is having a sarcastic tone to make us aware of the vulnerability of human lives and how proper care of environment can keep one safe from harm. So to the poem. It takes much time to kill a tree. Not a simple jab of the knife will do it. It has grown, slowly consuming the earth, rising out of it, feeding upon its crust, absorbing years of sunlight, air, water, and out of its leprous hide sprouting leaves. So hack and chop, but this alone won't do it. Not so much pain will do it. The bleeding bark will heal, and from close to the ground will rise curled green twigs, miniature boughs, which if unchecked will expand again to former size. So the poet says that a simple cut does not destroy a tree. A tree grows gradually, it is rooted in the soil. A plant takes nutrition from the soil to grow into a big tree. The tree is firmly bound with the soil. It takes in sunlight, water and air to grow into a strong trunk and have numerous leaves. Humans cut and chop the bark of the trees into many pieces, but that is not sufficient to destroy the tree. The point of the tree which get cut gives out sap, just like human being bleeds. Gradually this would heal, and from there new branches will start growing again. The poet says, so let's look into the next stanza. No, the root has to be pulled out of the anchoring earth. It is to be roped, tied and pulled out, snapped out or pulled out entirely, out from the earth cave, and the strength of the tree exposed. The source, white and wet, the most sensitive hidden for years inside the earth. Then the matter of scorching and choking in air and sun, browning, hardening, twisting, withering, and then it is done. The poet says that in order to kill the tree, it has to be uprooted. One has to separate the tree from the earth which supports it. The roots of the tree bind the tree with the soil in the pit of the earth. From there, the most sensitive and hidden part of the tree, the roots have to be detached. The roots are white in color and are damp. Once the tree has been uprooted, then gradually it withers and dries up with the action of heat and wind. The trunk will become soon twist and will harden. Finally, the tree will die in this way. So, here the poet describes how a systematic way for killing a tree. So, we can see in total the poem is a sensitive poem. The poet persuades the reader not to destroy trees and equates it with killing a human being. He says that the plant takes sunlight, water, and nutrients from the soil to gradually become a huge tree. It develops a strong trunk and gets numerous leaves. Merely cutting the trunk of the tree does not kill it. When a tree is cut, the sap flows out just like a wounded man bleeds. Once the wound heals, new branches and tiny leaves grows from there, which grows into trees. In order to destroy a tree, it has to be uprooted. The roots, which are white in color and damp due to the moisture that they get from the soil, are hidden in a pit of the earth. These roots are the most sensitive part of the tree as they bind it to the earth. In order to kill the tree, these roots have to be detached from the soil. Once the roots are detached, the tree starts dying. It withers, dries up with the action of heat and wind, twists, hardens, and finally dies. So this is the systematic procedure of killing a tree. Actually, the poet here wants people to be more sensitive regarding destroying trees ruthlessly and without thinking much. So the trees take years to grow into a big one, but the human beings takes only a few minutes to cut and chop it down. So here the poem is sarcastic tone towards the human nature of ruthlessly destroying trees. So let's look the literary devices used by the poet in this poem. So we can see that there is no rhyme scheme in the poem. It is written in free verse. So there is no rhyme or rhythm. Then there is the poet makes use of many metaphors. Metaphors are the indirect comparison. Here we can see the leprous hide. The uneven color of the surface of the trunk of a tree is compared to the skin of a person suffering from leprosy. Then bleeding bark. The sap coming out of the tree where it is cut is compared to the bleeding from the wound in a human's body. And we can see there is alliteration. That is a repetition of consonant sound in two or more closely places of words like bleeding bark, white and wet. And one particular phrase is repeated. So the repetition is here pulled out, and with the usage of this pulled out in a repeated manner, it lays emphasis on that particular word pulled out. So the literary devices we can see is the repetition, alliteration, metaphors, and we can see that there is no particular rhyme or rhythm scheme in this poem. Thank you.